does the Jets even existing boost New York's chance at all?
It actually might bring it down a little.
I
But
mean,
no, it does. It does.
it's not
Theoretically, it
impossible.
does. It is not
Unfathomable, but not impossible.
correct.
Sports and culture all in one. Catch the fire, feel the fun. Andrew Sistad, glad unite. Philly NY in the spotlight.
Hey everyone, welcome to episode 95. Sistad, welcome back, dude.
Thanks, man. Good to be back. Did you miss me?
This was not the same without you, especially when I was trying to hype up New York athletes or underhype. I went over the most overhyped New York athletes in recent memory. So if you haven't seen that episode, check it out on our YouTube and Spotify pages. But yeah, I needed you for that type of episode. It's just not. That's not my thing.
Yeah, definitely not. I'm sure you did a great job, but
You didn't even listen. Wow.
I did not listen. I will be honest with you. I did not listen, but I'm sure it was great. I did see some of the shorts on YouTube, and people got a little upset at some of the stuff you said, which is always fun. But you're great. You do a good job.
The player that I made the number one overhyped athlete I knew was going to get a lot of negative buzz over it. People love Jeremy Lin. One of my closest friends from college loves Jeremy Lin.
Oh my
God! I a group chat him in. I was told I was being so disrespectful. Yeah, calling Jeremy Lin the most overhyped New York athlete of all time, but he was. You agree with me, right?
Yes. I mean, I
not necessarily most overhyped.
He's definitely up there. He is absolutely up there. Of course he is. Yeah. Of course he is.
It was absurd.
The definition of overhype. He had like 9 good games in like February of one year. Are you kidding? And then he sucked for the rest of his career. He went to every single other team and sucked.
Yeah.
And he only survived in the NBA because his name was Jeremy Lin and because he had that 8-game stretch for the Knicks.
Yeah,
good for him.
You need to whatever. You need to check out that episode because there's Daniel Jones in there. You got to check that out.
Should I do a Philadelphia version?
You should do a Philadelphia. Oh my, please, let's do it. Do it.
Listen, as you know, last week was a difficult week for me, so I had no time or energy to listen to any podcast. I know. So don't take it personally.
I don't take it personally at all. And I think that for the betterment of the podcast, you should listen at some point. It's not going to. Hopefully, the idea of an episode like that, and the one we're doing right now, which I want to get into, is the idea is that you can tune into it at any point.
Yes.
Next month, 3 months from now, and it still is relevant. Like the concept doesn't change that much. This one, a little bit, it'll change at a certain point, but right now we have a couple of months where I think it's called evergreen. Is a term.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good enough.
All right. So, everyone, those who are tuning in, not for us to reminisce about the podcast, the last episode that wasn't on, but to talk about which city is actually closer to a championship, New York versus Philadelphia. The city of brotherly love is always, obviously, right on the precipice of a championship and can never get there. So we know that.
Yep.
All right. So now the concept of this is obviously a little bit of a dry time dry time in professional sports, right? Super Bowl's 2 weeks ended 2 weeks ago. The NHL's on break for the Olympics, which, by the way, have you watched any of the Olympic hockey stuff?
A little bit, bits and pieces.
I really like it a lot. And then the NBA's in their All-Star break. I didn't watch a second of anything except I saw the replay of the Knicks winning the Shooting Stars.
Okay.
I'm assuming you didn't watch much NBA All-Star stuff, right?
Not a lick. Nope.
Yeah, no.
I heard it was pretty good though. It got some good. It's getting some good buzz.
Yeah, people seem to be saying that it was more competitive than usual. I still don't care. Anyway, I like it. I like the break from sports actually. So anyway, the point is that this is a little bit of dry time, so we're gonna reflect on where we're kind of reflecting where New York and Philadelphia where the teams are and projecting the future. And since we're coming off the Super Bowl, it's New York and Philadelphia weren't in, and we're in the midst of NBA, NHL seasons, and baseball's right around the corner. It's a good time to ask the question: who's closer to a championship, New York or Philly? So we're gonna go sport by sport. The reason I wanted to go sport by sport instead of just going through like a listing them is because, well, do you know what I would ruin this episode right away if we didn't go sport by sport? Do you know why?
Do I know why? I'm going to say because you would say obviously New York has better statistical odds because there's twice as many teams.
That's one of the reasons, yes. And then there's one other statistical reason why I would say a certain team has the best odds of being the next team to win a championship.
Well, you would say the Knicks because they just happen to be furthest along in the season and have a high seed right now.
100%. So that's why we're going by sport because the episode would be over right now.
All right. Good.
It's good. You know me very well now. Good job.
I know you well. We know each other too well, man. Yeah, you're right.
All right, so let's start with the NFL. Right? You good with that?
Yeah.
All right. Who's actually close in the NFL? Now, the Jets, the Giants, or the Eagles? So, how do you want to start this conversation? You want to just give your answer right away? What do you think?
I think we should start by just throwing the Jets out. Just kicking them to the curb.
Okay, so we both agree the Giants and Eagles are much closer to winning a championship than the Jets.
Of course.
100%. You don't buy into the Jets have all these draft picks. Ooh.
Come on. And weren't we just saying how well you know me? You know how I feel about stupid draft picks. Good luck.
Okay. Jets are out. I agree. They're in last. They are not close even if you had to even like try to try to figure out rationalize a way, explain a way where, maybe in like 7 years. No.
They might be last if we took all however many, 12 teams? I mean, it's them or the Nets, right?
Yeah. Yes, I agree completely. I think they are last.
I think the Nets are probably behind them.
Yeah, the Nets are probably last. The Nets are probably,
just
you're right.
Because
the Nets
of
probably
the randomness of football. You know, one year you could strike, you catch lightning in a bottle and have a magical season, but that just doesn't happen in basketball. So
I'm with you. Okay. So Jets are out. Giants, Eagles. Now, I know you've on this pod been saying that the Giants their trajectory is going up. The Eagles are going down. Do you believe they're closer to like a retool phase than they are a championship window?
Oh yeah.
So does that? Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to ask if does that mean so the Eagles being up here, right? And then the Giants being down here. If the Giants are going up and the Eagles going down, where does that meet? Are the Eagles still here and the Giants are here, or is it like that's where I'm not really sure where you fall on that.
Yeah, that's a really good question. It's something really. That's the whole epicenter of this question right here. Is do I believe that the Eagles have slid far enough down, and the Giants, have that much potential to the point where they can overtake the Eagles? And I don't know. I mean, I think so. I think there's a lot of turmoil in Philadelphia right now. The team is going to look very different next year. And there's been so many just coaching staff changes and a lot of moving parts. And I think the Giants have, it's interesting because I don't know. It kind of feels like the Giants are just on the precipice of that team that's ready to take the next step. I mean, how many times do we see in the NFL where a team is really bad one year and then the next year they have a really good quarterback, and maybe he takes his licks year one and then year two they're amazing. Case in point, the New England Patriots. I mean, is it possible that the Giants are next year's version of the New England Patriots? Why not? Maybe. They're going to have a fourth place schedule. They're going to get all their guys back and healthy. They still have a top, 4 draft pick. Quarterback looked awesome.
Second
really
year
good wide
quarterback.
receiver. Yeah.
It's similar. I get the similarities.
Really, really good head coach. And I just think that like I think we've talked about this on the pod before, but like their holes to fill on their roster are like, other than corner, like their holes are pretty easy to fill. I think like you can get a wide receiver 2 or a wide receiver 3. You can get a tight end, right? You can get a couple of safeties and a linebacker. Like I think really the hardest thing that if they can get like a lockdown corner, then yeah, why not? The only thing that you wouldn't really trust if you were a Giants fan is their front office, right? You don't know if they're gonna put the right deals in place, make the right draft picks. I mean, Dart was great last year, but other than that, they haven't really had a very good track record when it comes to drafting. So yeah, my initial, I guess, gut reaction is to say that the Giants, if I had to put money, I'd say the Giants are closer to winning a championship than the Eagles. But I'm sure like the mathematical, the odds are going to tell you Philadelphia, and maybe they are, but I don't know. Like you said to start this off, the Eagles are trending down, and the the arrow is certainly pointing up for the Giants.
I actually wanted to look up the Giants Super Bowl odds. I'm curious what they are. The Giants, right at the Super Bowl, opened up as, depending on the book, between plus 7,000 and plus 7,500, which is pretty high. I mean, the Eagles are plus 1,300.
Okay, yeah.
So
I figured that would be the case, but
so
I don't know.
I think
Well,
I kind of agree with you. Like, I do agree. I think the Giants are in a really good, like there's a lot of reasons to be optimistic for Giants fans, but I think with all of the optimism, there's a lot of concerns, and there's a lot of, other than the front office, like specifically about the roster. Like Malik Neighbors is great, but he's coming off a torn ACL. He might not be. He's likely not ready for training camp. You have a quarterback, Jackson Dart looks really good, but he also got hurt a couple times, and he was pretty reckless, not taking care of his body. And some people just think that with age and with experience that it gets better, but it's not that simple. They also have, like you said, like, okay, they have a lot of the most important positions that they're set at. They have theoretically a quarterback, theoretically a wide receiver 1, assuming health. They have a great offensive tackle. They have a great pass rusher, really 2 great pass rushers, like edge rushers. So it's like, okay, they need a shutdown corner, and then they you can go in free agency in the draft and find linebackers and tight ends, and I agree with all that. Wide receiver 2 and wide receiver depth and safeties, I agree. But just because you can find those, they still have a lot of those things that they need to find and they need to hit on. So it's if you have a couple holes to plug to add to the core, okay. But when you have a bunch of them, it becomes more difficult. And then you throw in the front office, like that they have not proven themselves. So I think there's a lot of risk there. There's a lot of volatility there. I think Harbaugh kind of brings that floor up, where even if you don't have some of the great pieces, I think he'll develop a culture where they're not terrible like they've been for a bunch of years now. But in terms of championship odds and them close to winning championship, I think a lot has to go right this offseason. So much has to go right. And then in season with health, I find it, while I think the Giants are on their way up and in a good spot, I think that for me, from where they've been compared to where the Eagles have been, I don't think that jump. I don't think the Eagles have fallen off the cliff like that. I don't think the Giants have taken that jump up where they're ahead. Likely, I would definitely, with confidence, say the Eagles are closer to winning a championship. Now, I would not be very surprised at this time next year we were having the same conversation, and I would say the opposite, because I think the championship window for the Eagles is getting closer to closing. It's smaller, so I would say for one more year, I'd give it to the Eagles, but 2028 and on, I actually would say the Giants.
That's fair. But unless you think the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl next year, then that kind of proves my point.
That factors into the conversation. I agree. That's a good point.
I mean, nobody thinks the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl next year. So
it's a good point. And like, say the Eagles are plus 1,300 odds. It's like, okay, well, what are the odds of in the 2028, 2029, 2030? Because you kind of group them all together. So that's a good point. Okay. I'm still going to say the Eagles because I haven't. The Giants have been bad for too long for me to just ignore that. But it's close. I actually think it's much closer than it theoretically should be, considering the Eagles are not far removed from being Super Bowl champs.
Yeah. This is I've said a lot of times in this podcast is that they had a really nice window, right? They had a good 4 or 5 year window, which is great, which is like you can't really ask for much more in the NFL. And they competed and they were legit contenders and they made one Super Bowl and they won another one. And that's great as an NFL fan, but at some point that comes to an end. And I actually think so here's what's going to happen. Like, this is kind of what they do. The way that they structure their contracts and the way that Howie Roseman manipulates the cap is basically they keep pushing money down the road until one year they're going to have to pay a lot of money to people who probably aren't on the team anymore or aren't good anymore. And they're going to have to rebuild for a year at some point, probably within the next 2 or 3 years. So they're going to be really bad one of these years coming up. They did it in 2020. So they had their run, right? They won the Super Bowl in 2017. 18 went back to the playoffs, almost made almost made another deep run. 19 made the playoffs, but Carson Wentz got hurt in that playoff game. And then 2020, they were really bad. And then they rebuilt, and then they were decent the next year, and then that opened their window this year. So I think that you're probably going to see a pretty similar pattern to what happened, like I said, maybe 5-6 years ago.
All right. So are you declaring, Phil, that the Giants have the best chance? They're the closest in the NFL of these three teams.
Yes.
Okay. Now, we already put aside the Jets. Do you think that boosts, because we're doing New York or Philly, which city has a better chance? Does the Jets even existing boost New York's chance at all?
It actually might bring it down a little bit. It does. It does. I mean, yeah.
It's
theoretically it does. It's not impossible. It is not impossible.
Unfathomable, but not impossible.
Correct.
All right. I'm gonna say Philadelphia on this one for me.
Okay.
All right, NBA.
Okay.
We're gonna be in agreement on this one.
Of course.
I don't know how anyone can really disagree with this one.
Come on.
All right. So there's two teams again in New York, the Nets and the Knicks, or the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, we'd agree that the Nets are nowhere even close to winning an NBA championship.
Correct.
We compared it already to the Jets. It's pretty unfathomable to imagine them winning a championship. Although it's not that long ago the Nets had 3 superstar stars
That's true.
Like it's not like no one would go to Brooklyn.
That's a very good point. Very good point.
But anyway, it's hard to imagine right now. Their team is absolutely awful. They've been in tank mode, and they have really not much to show for. They don't really have any good young players at all.
Correct. Did they though? They didn't really have when they got their big three, they didn't really have any good players then either.
They did. They had what was the they had a good season. What was the team that they had?
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did. What year did the Nets get?
Probably 2020.
It was the KD and they signed KD and Kyrie. Then they got Harden like later in the year.
No, it was pretty early in the year.
In 2019.
Yeah.
So, Brooklyn Nets in 2018.
I think they were bad, man.
They went 42-40.
Who was on that team?
They were coached by Kenny Atkinson. And this is what made them relevant. Like people were like, "Oh wow, like it's a good culture." Oh, they had Jared Allen. They had Spencer Dinwiddie when Dinwiddie was good. They had Joe Harris, Karis LeVert, D'Angelo Russell.
Oh, this is the team. Wait a second. You said so in 2018.
This is 18 to 19.
This is the team. This team actually lost to the 76ers in round 1 of the playoffs that year.
That makes
Jared
sense.
Dudley and
they lost 5 games to the Sixers.
Yeah.
But they had the whole. There was like they weren't just a miserable team.
But hold on. This is why it sounds weird, because Durant was hurt the entire next year. So he didn't actually play. Remember, he tore his Achilles in that finals in 2019.
Yeah, and they signed him. They signed him in rehab
with the torn Achilles, right? So
yes.
he was out the end. That's why when you said 2019, I was like, man, it just didn't seem right. But yeah, and then I don't remember when Kyrie signed, but
the next year without him, it was a shortened season with COVID, and they went 35 and they went 35 and 37. Well, he was on the team, but not on the team. Kyrie was there though, but Kyrie was barely playing.
That's what.
Because Kyrie wasn't allowed to play on the road or at home or something. He was at home. He wasn't allowed to play. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, not far fetched that they could attract star players at some point. It's just the thing is the NBA's changed. It's not like these stars don't become free agents and just go where that doesn't happen anymore.
Right.
That doesn't mean it can't happen again, but under the current CBA with the aprons and stuff, that's not what happens. Players all push for those extensions and then they get traded. Okay, so back to the Nets. Realistically, not anywhere near in the near future can we envision them as a title contender.
Correct. You could probably say the same thing for another team on this list, but
the Sixers
in the NBA. Yes.
Dude, I don't know. Like, obviously the Knicks are closer than the Sixers. That's obvious. I'm not trying to suggest that's even close. The Knicks, we're both on the same page. Obviously, the Knicks are closer to winning a championship than the Sixers. It's not even close. So we agree, but I don't think the Sixers are as far off as you make it.
Stop.
That you probably. No, what do you mean?
Stop.
They're not going to win one with Embiid as their star player. I agree.
Yes,
and they're not going to win one with Paul George on the roster either.
Right, and they're both here for another 3 years. So
okay. But they have.
By the time they're gone, their young guys won't be young anymore, and it'll be a disaster.
This is a little bit different than the conversation, but just to give you a silver lining, most teams, when they have their max superstar franchise player declining, getting injured, under contract for many years, it's like, oh no, we're screwed for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
But the Sixers actually have like really, really like legitimate young pieces in place to retool and rebuild quickly. So they're already going to be a playoff team with their current situation, and going for the next couple of years, because they have Maxey, because they have Edgecombe, they're actually in a spot where they're going to be a very competitive team. And then when those guys are off, when the Paul George contract's out off the books and the Embiid contract's off the books, or they're one or two right moves away from being a championship contender again.
Okay.
So still, for the sake of this conversation, obviously this is New York's closer than Philadelphia, but I don't think it's as bleak in terms of their future potential championship projections as you probably feel that it is.
Yes, I feel it's extremely bleak.
Yes. All right. MLB.
Well, what were the odds? Let's see.
Oh, the odds. Yes. Yeah, I know you love the numbers. You love the data.
I love those numbers, man.
Like whatever that guy's name was. Okay. All right. NBA odds to win a championship this season. The New York Knicks are plus 1,300.
Wow.
And I don't know what the Sixers are on here. Let's see. 76ers NBA championship odds. Sixers are, well, this is a wide range, but we're looking at anywhere between plus 4,000 and 6,600.
Oh my God. That's pathetic, dude.
So, plus 1,300 for the Knicks. That's the fifth best odds in the NBA.
Wow, I actually wouldn't have thought that the gap was that wide between the two of them, odds-wise.
Yeah. I think the Knicks are legitimate championship contenders, and the Sixers are legitimately not.
Yeah, I agree, but like, I don't know, maybe plus 2,500. I mean, it's still significantly lower than the Knicks odds, but
sounds like you want to bet the Sixers.
Yeah, okay. You know me, I bet against the Sixers.
Of course. So New York wins that one. MLB. Okay.
Oh, God.
So
do we have to?
This is actually a really good. This is a really good one. No,
stop it. No, it's not. Come on.
This is. Now we come back to the one thing that's unfair. Obviously, when you combine the Mets and the Yankees together, they have a better chance of winning than just the Phillies. So, just for the sake of this conversation, let's try to separate that.
Okay.
The Phillies
are awful.
Dude, I don't like.
Oh, don't do it.
Do you really? You really don't think the Phillies have like? You don't think they're like a contender?
No, of course not.
What do you mean? Of course not.
I mean, of course. Why would I think they're a contender? I think that they'll have a nice regular season and they're gonna pitch well in the playoffs. But they're now down. They're like one of their best pitchers, and not down, but he's just no longer there. Their ace is not going to be ready to start the season, and they still don't have any bats. And
they have a new ace. They have a new ace.
They're going to strike out all the time, and they are, that's what's going to happen. They're going to be fine in the regular season. They're going to get to the playoffs, and they're going to forget how to hit because none of their, none of their bats will show up, and it's all good.
Well, I get what you're saying, but the fact that you're so confident that they're going to make the playoffs leads to say, well, if they're in the playoffs,
I'm not that confident that they're going to make the playoffs. It
seemed like you were based on what you just said.
I mean, they should make the playoffs, but I don't know.
Hold on, let me ask you.
I know you're not high on the Mets, but
in all seriousness,
will be pretty good this year. I think the Braves will be pretty good this year.
I agree.
Yeah. So
I think the Padres are going to be good. I think outside of the Dodgers, I think the Phillies are in this mix of Braves, Mets, Cubs, Padres as the best team in the National League. I think they're all like right in that same thing. That same like 86 to 92 wins. Underdog in any series against the Dodgers.
Okay.
I think that the Phillies have as good of a chance, if not slightly better than the Mets. I'm just not a believer in the Mets roster. And I wasn't last year, and I don't think that they made it. I think they made it different, but not necessarily better this year. I don't. I think comparing the Phillies and the Mets is very close. I think they're really close. They're both very unlikely because
Well, the Phillies also have. I think they objectively got worse this offseason.
did they? Because they
I
lost
think so.
Ranger
Don't
Suarez.
you? Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, in terms of transactions wise, yes. But they got a huge clubhouse boost, dude.
Oh wow! Come on, you're not even clubhouse boost guy. What are you talking about?
I am when it's a guy that's bringing yelling at the coaches and managers and bringing a beer at a protest into the dugout. I think
That
that's
sounds like something you would do, man.
I don't think it does. Maybe a bowl, maybe a little
Yeah.
joint in the dugout.
Yeah, that would be great, dude.
Dude, if that was the story that came out,
the
like
Bolski in the dugout, dude.
If the story came out like Nick Castellanos like lit a joint or lit a blunt in the dugout after he was taken out, I'd be like, that's amazing.
Yes,
like the team must have been so relaxed.
Yeah, that's the thing. But all the reports said that you could hear yelling and stuff, and it was very tense. So maybe if he did just smoke weed instead of drink beer, everything would have been fine.
Yeah,
would have
seriously.
chilled out. He wouldn't have got mad at the manager. Everything could have been great.
How dare you take me out? I'm not the worst defensive outfielder in baseball.
Yeah.
I also think that their new ace is going to take the next step. You know who I'm talking about, right? The new ace?
No.
Chris Sanchez. The top 5 pitcher in baseball this year.
New. He's great.
No, he's as new as their ace. Year. No, but I know, but he's their new ace. Last year he wasn't their ace.
So you think he's better than Wheeler?
I'm not saying he's better than Wheeler. I'm saying that he's going to replace Wheeler as like that top guy. Well, until Wheeler's back, at least.
Okay. Yeah, I mean they're
I don't
fine.
Think you're
gonna they're gonna be a fine little team, and it's gonna get us through between the NBA and the NFL, and it'll be fine, and it's great. It's gonna be great, but we all know the Yankees are obviously.
Let's talk about the Yankees next.
Well, you could argue. I would argue. I know you wouldn't, but I would argue that the Mets have a better chance of winning a championship than the Phillies. And I would argue that the Yankees, and I would argue that the Yankees obviously have a better chance to win a championship than the Phillies.
Let's talk
what
about
are we
the
even
Yankees
talking
now.
about?
Well, let's talk about the Yankees. I agree that the Yankees have a better chance out of all 3 teams.
Well, of course you do.
I think the Yankees have
eyeballs, right? So,
well, I think the Yankees are the second best team in baseball, and but here's the thing about this, and you'll mock this, but almost every Yankee fan disagrees with me.
What do you mean?
The whole thing is because they're running back. People are very upset they're running back the team, and then Cashman denied that they're running back the team, even though they really are, which is fine. I don't know why he didn't just say it that we are, but Yankee fans are very upset, and a lot of Red Sox fans, a lot of Mets fans, they're mocking the Yankees, like, oh, they're running back the roster that lost to the Blue Jays, haha. Yeah.
Oh my god!
This isn't just like a Yankee fan being upset. God. This is like people around baseball are mocking the Yankees for bringing back the same roster.
Why are people doing that? Why are people poking the bear? It's what? Do people learn ever? No, I guess not. I guess only. How old are we? 35. I guess 35 years worth of evidence and data is not enough to
well, not it's not 35 years to say that the Yankees are going to win the World Series, but anyway, the Yankees are going to be a really good team. They also have a much easier path to get to the World Series than the Mets or the Phillies do. So I think by far out of these 3 teams, the Yankees have the best chance.
Oh my god!
Obviously, if you put the Yankees and Mets together, New York, obviously, but it's not really a fair comparison. But obviously, New York's closer to a championship than Philadelphia. The Yankees and the Mets together. But even if we took the Mets out of it and it was just Yankees or Phillies, I'd still say New York is. And you agree clearly,
of course.
And you go for it. You think the Mets have a much better chance than the Phillies. So,
yes.
You want to know what the odds say?
Sure.
The Philadelphia Phillies odds to win the 2026 World Series. Do you want to guess?
The Phillies 2026 World Series is probably plus 7,500.
Not even close. Much more likely odds.
Really? Plus
They
4,500.
No, not even close again. Hold on. Let me give you one more hint.
Huh?
They are actually the tied for the fifth favorite. No, tied for the fourth.
Oh,
most
for
likely.
the love of God. Oh my God.
So does that help your number at all?
Well, Vegas thinks you're all dumb.
So what do you give one more guess? You weren't even close both times.
Plus 2,500.
All right, now plus 1,400.
What?
And they are tied with the Toronto Blue Jays at plus 1,400. And guess who else they are tied with?
The
at
Mets.
Plus 1,400. The Mets. Yeah.
Wow. Interesting. So what do the Yankees got to do what?
Plus 950. And just for the sake
Wow.
of this conversation, I got to tell you, the Dodgers. This is absurd. So the Yankees are the second favorite. They're plus 950. The Dodgers, dude, plus 230.
Oh my God.
That's they're 2 to 1 to win.
Oh my God. That's pretty nuts, dude.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
I think that's crazy.
So I would have said this before the list started, but yeah, the Yankees I would put as the number one team who's most likely to win a championship next, obviously. I mean, I would probably do that every single year, like that I've ever existed if we did this exercise, but
if you're factoring in the time of like that the argument I make about like where they are in the season, that the NBA championship is going to be next, would you say the Knicks are more likely just because of that? Because they just get a slight boost just because their championship's sooner? Or you're like, no. Okay. All right. Because you don't really believe the Knicks are going to win a championship.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. I agree.
Not that I don't believe that they would win one. I just think that they're going to have a much harder time.
I agree for sure.
But they can.
All right.
But yeah.
NHL.
Okay.
So we're not going to spend too much time on this because none of them are close at all. Where do you want to? Let me just put up Rangers, Flyers, and are we doing Islanders and Devils?
Yep.
So here's the thing about this. Obviously, New York's closer. How about we don't count the Devils just to make it? Obviously,
Okay.
New York's closer just because there's more teams. So it's not really a fair comparison again, but the Flyers aren't close at all. You agree, right?
No.
The Flyers are nowhere
Correct.
close.
Right. And they never get any like. Well, none of them are really close.
None of them are close. The Flyers are in the midst of a rebuild, right? They're
a 15-year rebuild. Yes.
It's a so far failed rebuild up to this point. The Devils are kind of in a weird place where they were trending upwards and then have taken a step backwards and then back. Very strange. They're not good. And then the Islanders are actually good. They're going to make the playoffs. Like they're almost a lock to make the playoffs at this point. But they're like going to be like third in the Metropolitan, or maybe the wild card team. Like, for the chances that they get, like it's low, but they have the best chance just because they're going to be they're going to be the only team in the playoffs this year. So, and then the Rangers are
going to be the only team in the playoffs this year. The Rangers are having a bad year, but
terrible.
But they're still well run. They're in the mix most of the years. And yeah, I think like
no, the Rangers the Rangers are the furthest away right now. Are these teams, dude?
Oh, I don't think so.
The Rangers just traded a Panarin. They're selling off all their good players.
They're I think that you can trust the infrastructure of their front office, and
I don't know.
They do a better job of getting free agents than Philadelphia. Philadelphia doesn't get any free agents. So
they
also do a better job of drafting and developing.
I don't know about that. I don't know about the drafting part, but I agree with. I think the Rangers have had a long-standing success. Like they've been a very competitive team for a long time now.
Yeah,
but and maybe one of these days I'll do a Rangers episode, but their GM Chris Drury, since he's taken over, has really taken a championship contender and turned them into a rebuilding team now. So I don't really trust them. But anyway, none of these teams are close. The Islanders are going to make the playoffs, so they're the closest. But I guess we got to give it to the Islanders here by default. It's crazy how there's 4 teams we're talking about, and only one of them is even going to make the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, it looks like it's a clean sweep for New York, dude. Wow, 4 for 4.
But I try to take out the fact that, like, if you combine the odds, the New York teams together, like, I try to take that out.
Oh, I am taking it out.
Yeah, okay.
And I still think it's a clean sweep. Yeah,
because we have you're saying the Giants.
Yes.
And then you're saying the Knicks, and then you're saying the Yankees, and the Mets, and then you're saying the Islanders.
Yes.
And I'm saying the only one I disagree with is I put the Eagles ahead of both football teams. But I agree, though. I think New York wins this. New York's close to a championship. But at least you could say this. Philadelphia is a lot more recently removed from a championship. So there you go. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you. 2 championships.
2. Wow. 3. No, I'm joking. The Phillies.
What's the last New York championship?
Yankees 09.
Yankees 09.
The year after the Phillies won, and obviously they beat the Phillies.
Yeah. So Philadelphia's won 2 championships since then.
Yep. All right. What else do we have? Which? I was going to ask you something.
Should I do my big board, dude? My NFL big board. You ready for that?
I do your NFL big board.
Yeah, my big board.
We can do that next week. Yeah, I was going to ask you what. What do you? Okay. You're very upset about your teams right now. You're very down on most of your Philadelphia teams, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm upset about them. But I don't feel great about them. I think this. I know you probably hate this and are going nuts, but I think this break is great. I don't have to watch the Sixers. It's great.
No, I like the break. I like the break. I've been watching a lot of the Olympics though. A lot of the Olympic hockey. I like that.
Spring training. I'm sure you'll be watching some spring training on Friday.
I don't watch spring training at all.
No?
But I'm very invested in what's going on in spring training. It starts on Friday?
Mm-hmm.
You watch the World Baseball Classic?
Yeah. Yeah, I like watching that.
Do you root for the U.S. in these kind of things?
No, I root for Canada.
You think that's so funny? It's so outrageous. Like, some people probably root for players that they like over the country.
Oh no! So I obviously root for the United States, and then I'll root for my nationalities. So I'm Puerto Rican and Italian and Norwegian. Those are my heritages. Norway is not participating in the World Baseball Classic. Italy is participating in the World Baseball Classic. Aaron Nola is their ace. Obviously, Puerto Rico's got a really good team. So, yeah, I will be watching, and those will be the teams that I'm rooting for.
Who's on Italy's team from MLB? Let's see.
I just know about Nola.
Let's see. They have who do they have? They have Nola. They have Michael Lorenzen.
Oh, okay.
Adam Ottavino. Ron Marinaccio. Marinaccio.
Nice,
yeah.
Dude. All right.
You got Italy, and you got Thomas River. You got it
New
all.
New Jersey, yeah.
Yeah. Greg
Maybe
Weisser.
Volpe will be the
Wait, he should be there.
He should, right?
He should be. Why isn't he on?
Maybe he's the starting shortstop for the USA.
He's hurt. He probably would be on Team Italy if he wasn't hurt. I mean, they have Vinny Pasquantino. Oh, wow. Do you know who that is? On the Royals? Okay.
No?
Dude, USA, Team USA. Should I share my screen?
Sure.
This is what the episode should be about.
Who
So
are you rooting for, man?
I'm rooting for DR. I'm assuming you can see this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you look at this bullpen. You got Bednar on you got Mason Miller. You got Bednar. That bullpen. Garrett Whitlock. That's some lockdown in the pen. And then it's so funny that Kershaw's on this team. But Skeens, Scooble,
Clay
Skeens,
Holmes?
Joe Ryan. Yeah, Clay Holmes.
Dude, was
Scooble,
Clay hold on. Was Clay Holmes the guy in the Yankees that everyone hated 2 years ago?
yes, and yeah, he's on the Mets now.
That's great. Oh man, that's great.
Yeah, Scooble, Skeens, Joe Ryan is pretty, and Logan Webb is a pretty incredible top 4 starters. And then the offense, dude. Kyle Raleigh, Will Smith as the catchers.
Wow.
Look at these. Look at the infield.
Goldie. All right.
Goldie's clearly a bench player. Bregman's probably a bench player to start. I'd imagine.
These are the
Gunner's probably playing third.
infielders?
Gunner's playing third.
How are
and
those
Wood's
the
playing short.
infielders?
What's wrong?
It's
do you
just
mean they
not
have, like,
super impressive, dude.
They have the best shortstop in baseball. They have
Bryce Harper, Alex Bregman.
one of the best shortstops playing third base, and they have one of the best first basemen. And then the outfield, Judge, Roman Anthony.
Oh, you're so mad that Roman Anthony's on the team. You hate him so much.
And then your boy Kyle Schwarber, DH.
Yeah.
You don't like that lineup?
I just feel like there's definitely going to be some Central American countries that have much better lineups.
Well, the DR's lineup is a lot better, but the pitching's not as good.
Yeah.
And Japan's probably the favorite to win the whole thing anyway. So, all right. So New York is closer to winning a championship than Philadelphia. We're gonna be doing a bunch of these New York versus Philly rivalry type episodes coming up over the next couple of weeks. As you know, basketball's. How would you describe where we are in the NBA season? What would be a good way to describe it?
Right now we're at the All-Star break.
No, but next week.
Next week is the start of the second half, even though it's not really, it's more than halfway through.
No one really cares that much about the NBA right now. Like it's
the dog days.
It's just nothing's going to really impact.
Everything is, I mean, except for like, it's kind of like even feels like all the seeds, at least in the East, are like kind of set. Like the seeding hasn't really moved like at all over the past month and a half.
The 2 and the 3, the Knicks and Celtics could, jockey for the 2 and the 3, but I don't know. That's not that impactful.
Right.
I agree. So we'll be doing a couple of New York
some spring training. Yeah, spring training episodes. It'll be great.
We should go down to Florida for some spring training.
I love that, dude. I've really always wanted to do that.
Yeah, I would love to do that too.
That would be fun. Maybe next year.
Yeah. All right. Well, New York's better than Philly again.
Mm-hmm.
One of these days, you're going to have to put up a fight on why Philly's better. That's something. What could we do?
I would not argue that they're better.
No, what kind of episode could we do that will prop up Philadelphia as opposed to New York?
We could do
recent championships won. Best recent teams or something.
Yeah. Better at throwing snowballs at Santa Claus.
They are good at that.
We are undefeated at that, dude.
All right. Well, everyone, thanks for tuning in. Please give us a like. Please subscribe. We'll see you next time.
Sports and culture all in one. Catch the fire, feel the fun, and and juices that glad unite. Philly and Y and